strands, woven like the many days and countless ways we've held our hands. Here we are, standing at an airport gate. All those wishes on a star that missed so far will have to wait. Going like a left tide flowing, like a trade wind blowing. Soon you will be far across the sea, flying. Soon you will be flying, like a teardrop drying, leaving just a memory.
Okay, everybody. I'd like to thank you for being here this afternoon. We're here to celebrate the life of my uncle, Eric Viray. I'd like to thank everybody joining in the live stream. And I'd like to thank everybody for being here today, for everybody who contributed online at the Eric Viray Memorial group page. Everybody was in shock when Eric passed, and I think to a certain degree a lot of us are still in shock. But we're here today to celebrate his life and remember all the wonderful things that we experienced with him when he was around. You know, death can be a very difficult thing, as we all know. It was less than a year ago that we were here at this very memorial park, remembering my grandmother, Eric's mother, Olga Viray. As a matter of fact, it was exactly a year on Monday, the 27th of September, that we were here honoring my grandmother. And here we are again. For those of you who don't know, our family, like many families in America over the last 18 months, has experienced tragedy after tragedy. In 2019, my dear Uncle Ed valiantly fought a long illness and finally passed away in April of 2019. And then just a little bit, about a year after that, my beloved grandmother passed. And now here we are less than a year later, and we're saying goodbye to yet another loved one. You know, somebody as young as Eric, somebody as strong and vibrant with such a strong personality and such a great character, you don't think that someone like him could be taken so quickly, so suddenly. But as we all know, COVID-19 doesn't discriminate. It'll take your life just like it'll take anybody else's life. And unfortunately, it took my uncle's life way before he should have gone. He had his whole life ahead of him. For those of you who know him, you know how outgoing and outspoken he was. Always smiling, always happy, always in good spirits. I don't know if I can actually find the words to describe how hard it is to see my uncle lying there. He was so busy planning for the future and making plans that we didn't see this coming. I don't think he saw it coming. But I guess that's life. You're here one day and gone the next. And Eric, being the forward-thinking, ambitious man that he was looking so forward to the future and doing all the projects, completing all the projects that he had planned. And sadly now that will never happen. But we're here today to celebrate his life, to honor his memory, to remember the good times that we had with him, the outpouring of love and affection that was shown through his Facebook memorial page is overwhelming. And I thank everybody joining in today, everybody who commented or shared a memory, shared some thoughts and anecdotes about Eric. On behalf of our family, I thank you. It was so wonderful to see all the different people, all the lives that Eric touched in so many different ways. And I just can't thank everybody enough for being here, for participating. It definitely made this a little bit easier knowing that so many people were affected by his passing. So, to begin, I'd like to start with a little prayer. As you know, Eric was raised Roman Catholic, and so we're going to say a little Catholic prayer for him today. If I could ask you to bow your heads in prayer. I commend you, my dear friend Eric, to Almighty God, and entrust you to your Creator. May you rest in the arms of the Lord, who formed you from the dust of the earth. May Holy Mary, the angels and the saints welcome you now that you have gone forth from this life. May Christ, who was crucified for you, bring you freedom and peace. May Christ, who died for you, admit you into his garden of paradise. May Christ, the true shepherd, embrace you as one of his flock. May he forgive all your sins and set you among those he has chosen. May you see your Redeemer face to face and enjoy the vision of God forever. Amen. I really, what can you say about a guy like Eric? There was so many wonderful things about Eric's personality that people were drawn to him. People just liked to be around him because he was a fun, outgoing guy, and that's why he had so many friends and reached so many people. In the last year, since my grandmother's passing, Eric and I have become extremely close. We were hanging out 2, 3, 4 times a week, going out, eating and drinking. And looking back now in hindsight, this past year, even with my grandmother's passing, it brought us closer together. And I'm grateful, eternally grateful, that we had become so close. I think that Eric knew that there are few people on this earth that loved his parents, my grandparents, as much as I did. And I think Eric knew that. And I think that's why Eric and I were so close. Because he knew I loved my grandfather and my grandmother very much. Like I said at my grandmother's funeral last year, There was a time when I was a teenager when it was just the three of us, my grandmother, my grandfather, and myself, and we lived together. And Eric knew that I loved them, and I think that's what cemented our bond. Eric had always been more of a big brother to me than just an uncle. You know, we were only about 10 years apart, and one of my earliest memories was Eric packing me on a bike at Barber's Point and riding me around on the base. And I was probably only about 5 or 6 years old, and he would put me on the bike and take me for a ride. You know, when he was, after he was born in Vietnam, my mom used to tell me that, you know, she took charge of him. So my mom practically raised him, and I think that's another reason why Eric and I were so close. We had a lot of the same interests, and he was just a really fun guy to be around. It's hard for me to imagine what it's going to be like going forward without him. Eric was an ambitious man who had such grand plans for the future. There was so much that he wanted to see and do and accomplish. And now the world is a lesser place without him. In the morning when I wake up, I still can't believe that this has happened. I still get that rush of adrenaline every morning I wake up, in the few moments before I realize that I'm no longer dreaming. I wish this nightmare would end, but it's not a nightmare. I wish I could find the right words to say to make things better, but sometimes there are no words. Sometimes all that's left is the grief and the sorrow that wells up inside you when you know that you'll never see his face again or hear his voice. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time that we spent. I'm glad that in this past year we became closer than we've ever been. Maybe it was a sign of things to come. But I'm not going to waste my time worrying about that. I know Eric's in a better place now. He's with my grandmother and my grandfather and my dear Uncle Ed. And I'm sure that they were there waiting for him. Call me selfish, but I wish he was here with us where he belongs. Eric had too much living to do. He had his whole life ahead of him. But I guess that's life. Nobody knows when we're going to go. Nobody knows if the world's going to end tomorrow. And to be honest with you, if the world ended tomorrow, I'd die a happy man. Because that way we could go together. And there'd be no sorrow or grief. When I was a child, I used to worry a lot about death. I worried a lot about losing family members and how I would handle it. Every night when I went to sleep, I would say my prayers. I would pray to God that He would let the world end before any of my family members died. To spare me the grief and the bereavement of losing a loved one. I pray that he would end the world so that we could all go together, so that we could all go at one time, maybe holding hands. I would pray to the Lord that that would happen. Perhaps it's an odd thing to pray for, it's an odd thing to wish for, but that's what I would pray for. But life goes on, and the world doesn't end. And now we're left with all the memories and the thoughts, all the experiences that we had with him. My Uncle Eric lived a full life. He had been around the world, met many people, and made many friends. And I like to think it was a good life. Seeing the outpouring of love, I know that he touched many lives, and that there are many people out there stricken with grief at his passing. We can't stop death. It comes for us all, sooner or later. And I think the only way, at least the only way I can feel comfortable about it and come to terms with it, is to live your best life now. Tell your loved ones that you love them. Tell your friends how much they mean to them. If somebody's touched your life, if somebody's been a good friend, let them know it. Because you might not get that opportunity again. I wish I had one last chance to hang out with my uncle before he passed. Unfortunately, he didn't tell any of us family members here in Hawaii that he was sick. Those of us who were here, geographically closest to him, in the best position to get him the care that he needed, were not able to do that because he didn't tell us. And that made me really mad. I thought if he would have told anybody, he would have at least told me. But perhaps he was trying to protect me and protect us because he knew he was sick. But I find little comfort in that. There are times when I get mad and I curse him for not telling me. I would yell at him and curse him for not listening to me when I told him to get vaccinated. But it's useless. You can't be mad at the dead. I think the only thing to do now is to carry on as he would have liked us to carry on. I miss you, Unky. I know I'll see you again soon. I just wish you were still here with us. In these unusual times when we're surrounded by death and sickness and COVID is still raging, well over a year and a half now. You kind of get numb to seeing people dying everywhere. You see it on the news every day. And you never think it'll hit close to home until it does. Because of COVID, we're not really having a traditional ceremony. traditional prayers. So this is going to be a bit of an informal memorial service. This time, I'd like to pass the mic over to anybody who'd like to speak and express their thoughts and say something on behalf of Eric.
There was a lot of things that we didn't get to do with Unky, and there was just like a million things that we could have all done with him. Like he was talking about traveling and how his business was gonna take off, but I guess he couldn't do any of those things because of COVID. And I just wish that he would have gotten just a chance to do those things, because I would have loved it if we could have. And I just wish that he could have gotten like not even a day, just like one day to just say goodbye to everyone, so we wouldn't have to be so sad. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Hi, well, first of all, thank you for everybody, for all of you who came to pay respect to our brother Eric. And I don't even know where to start. The people in this room have been with us, have been with Eric forever, it seemed like. And he had left us so soon without goodbye, with nothing. And for that, I don't like it. I'd like to be able to talk to him one more time. Just get up and tell me that you're okay. And I'll be okay with that. I not lost only my brother. He was my best friend, my confidant, and I don't really know how to move forward without him in my life. He was a very loving man to his family, to his children, Alyssa and Brianna, with all our hearts. We wish you were here, but your dad is with you, will always be with you. And Eric, you left a big hole in our hearts, especially in mine. But all I can say is that I will miss you forever, and I will see you on the other side. Say hi to Mamang, Papang, Ed, and Chog. One last request. I hold an imaginary glass of wine to cheers him. Cheers, Eric. I love you, brother. See you later.
I'm Ed Gibbons. Me and Eric worked together 30 years ago with John Steffens over there. And we were pretty tight in those days. We called ourselves the Three Amigos. And even did the dance every once in a while. But we had some great adventures that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Eric, he came in as a kind of tall, skinny, pimply-faced kid when I first met him. And I was very impressed at how he grew into a pretty handsome, fit young man there. So, in fact, if any of you remember, he used to call himself Sky God. He even had it on his license plate. It's been quite a while since I've seen Eric, and it's just such a shock to lose somebody so young and in his, the best part of his life. It's just horrible. Anyway, anyways, Eric, if you can hear us, we're always going to be the Three Amigos, buddy. And we'll see you on the other side, as Vanji said. But anyways, thank you all. I just want to express how much we all loved Eric, and like he was just a wonderful, wonderful guy. I just had to get up here and say a few words for him. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Eric. My name is Mario Pasolan, and I've known Eric for a good 32 years. We were classmates in United Airlines when we started flying, and ever since we've been good friends, hanging around, work at the hotel. I just want to say a few things about Eric. We're going to miss him. He was just standing there. He's just the funniest guy. He'll find ways to make you laugh until your face hurt. And we would just talk until early hours in the morning, and we just hang out. And he would have that ability to make you feel like you were his best friend. He'd make you feel like you were very important in his life, and for that I thank him, because he became such an important part of my life when I came, when we were flying. And I miss him. Like Mike said, sometimes I just go into my phone and I want to text him and tell him how my flight was, you know, what's going on, and somebody asked about him, and it's hard, but that's just a selfish part of me that misses him, because I know that he is where he belongs, with his mom and dad and his brothers. I just have to say this. He was a great friend. He was a good father to his kids, to his siblings, to his family. But most of all, he's a great son to his mom, and for that, I admire him, and I will always admire that. We went to Beijing, and he talked me into going to Beijing, and he said, "Come on, Mario, we gotta go to China." And we were together. We had a great time. Out of the many times we were together. And we went shopping like we always did. We love shopping. And I was with him, and I bought this pen. Gary, take it with you. Memory of all those who cherish your friendship and enjoy your company all the years. Thanks for all the laughs, all the good food, good times. Love you, man. Thank you.
Aloha. First, you don't know who I am. My name's Brandon. I know Alex. We were a kid. I would say we were like 19 years old. Going to the club as a young adult. Checking out girls back those days. One thing about him is he's always a great friend, but a great brother. As we become older, we got to go separate way and find our way to be ourselves. And as come back to Hawaii again, and we get to know each other. We hang out. As a best friend is hard because, you know, we make plans. We make so much plan, business-wise, family-wise. That's just 6 weeks ago, we just celebrating his 50-something birthday, and 6 weeks ago, we make our business plan. This is what we got to do. Our plan is going to go great. We're going to do big thing in the world. Just 6 weeks ago. I wish I could go back 6 weeks ago and I could do something different. Too late now, but life move on. We have to live on, and he wants us to live on and just be great and just I'm gonna miss him, you know, as a great friend, great brother. I don't know what else to say. I'm really sad that this happened, and I have no word to express how I feel. I wish he was here right now, and, you know, there. But this is what it is. Life take us to the next step. I just want to reach his family that he'll be all right. He's there with his loved one, and he's up there looking up at us, and he'll be our angels to guide us in the hardest days to come, and he wants us to be strong and live this life as fullest and be happy and just love the one around you and tell them that you love them, and not too late. I haven't tell them that I love him. He's a brother that I always wanted to have. I can say it now, but it's too late to say it to him. But I think he know. I'm gonna miss you, Alex, and the plan we have is not gonna happen, but the life will move on. I'm gonna miss you, brother. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Hughes. I'm also one of Eric's flying sisters from United. Just wanted to come and show our respects to his beautiful family and say thank you to Eric. He was such a wonderful brother, such an infectious spirit. We loved his laughter and his energy and his stories. Just always had some wonderful stories to share, and just lit up the room, and just was so much fun to fly with. We knew each other for 32 years also, and while we weren't always close in our flying career, our friendship grew more, I would say, in the last 10 years. Our paths crossed more often in our flying, And I got the opportunity to meet his mom, who we all knew he loved very much, and his beautiful daughters, Rihanna and Alyssa. And I just want to share with them how much your father loved you and will always love you and spoke of you always and kept you in his heart as well as his family. He spoke of you so much. And Alyssa and Brianna, you have many other aunties and uncles out there who will always be there for you because of your father. He just touched everybody's heart, and he was a good person. And loved music. That was one of the things we all had in common, was we loved music, we loved singing, karaoke. We had many friends that loved singing, and just reminded us to enjoy life. So that's what I will do, is celebrate his life and keep his memory and his stories alive. And I'm grateful, brother, that you had the opportunity to meet my beautiful husband, Garland, over there, and came to our wedding, one of our classmates, and it was just such a wonderful celebration. And I think that was one of the beautiful parts of him too, is that he celebrated everyone. And like Mario said, he treated you like you were his best friend. And that's one of the things I love the most, is everybody can agree with that. So I thank you, brother. We're going to keep your spirit alive. And God bless you. God bless all of your family. And know that we are here with you too, always. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Steffens, and I'm the third of the Three Amigos. When we were in our latter teens, we all hooked up and worked at the beach tower. Eric was a very generous person, a free spirit and loving. He was quick to lend me $50 if I needed money. Him or Ed, even though they knew they would never get it back. One story that sticks in my mind was after he got his first new car, a blue Sentra, I think it was. Beautiful car. He says, hey, you need a ride home tonight, John? I said, yeah, I don't want to catch the bus. He says, no problem. We got in the car and started driving home. And some maniac comes by, cuts us off, and yells something out the window. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he says, did you hear that? And I says, yeah, I heard that. And he says, we're going to take that? And I says, no. He says, I want to go get him. I says, yeah, go get him. And of course, we caught up to the guy. And for the sake of the kids, I won't say what we said. And we gave him the bird and took off. And we're pretty proud of ourselves. Show that guy. And next thing you know, he's chasing us, H1 westbound, on the way to Salt Lake, where I lived. And we weren't prepared for that. We didn't think he was going to retaliate, you know. Somehow he got us boxed in on the left, stopped traffic, ended up behind us. And we were like, come on, people, move, move. He pulled out in front of us and parked and got out with a machete. Yeah, we weren't so tough then. I looked at him, I says, you got to get out of here. And he says, there's nowhere to go. I says, find a way. And somehow he backed up with his valet skills, turned left, and went in between two cars with, couldn't have been more than an inch on either side. And about 10 seconds later, we're both breathing pretty hard, and he says, "Man, did that scare you?" And I said, No, man, that didn't scare me." He said, "It didn't scare me either." And there was this really awkward, must have been a 30-second pause, and he says, "We should report this to the police, man." And I said, "Yeah, you know what, we better." So right before we got to my house, we stopped at the Salt Lake Shopping Center and called the cops. We were still shaking. That was a big knife, you know. Free spirit, loving man. Yeah, never forget him. Cheers.
I'd like to thank everybody for sharing your thoughts with us here. There's so many great stories about Eric. We could probably sit here all night and talk about all the good things and the good times that we had with him. And I hope that's what everybody takes from this, is to remember the good times, to remember how happy he was and how fun-loving he was, because that's who he was. You know, I can't even really recall a time when I've seen Eric angry or mad. He always had a smile on his face. You know, they say the good die young. Maybe that's true. The good die young and the wicked inherit the earth. It's a sad irony of life. With everything that's going on for the last year and a half with COVID, I try very hard to figure out what's going on, to find some rhyme or reason to why the world is the way it is, why good people like my uncle are taken from us way before their time. And I thought about that for a very long time. And then I had a sort of epiphany, and a strange sort of calm and comfort came over me when I realized that maybe there is no rhyme, and maybe there is no reason, and maybe there is no God. Maybe there's no reason for any of this. It's just our minds searching for some reason to comfort us, to make sense of all the nonsense in this world. After all, that is the brain's job, is to make sense of what's coming in and what's going on in the world around us. But there are no good reasons for people to die. There is no reason why he was taken early from us. That's just the way it is. And that's life. Eventually, we'll come to this point as well. I just wish it wasn't so soon. You will be missed, Eric. Not just by your family, but by all the lives that you've touched. You were a loving son, a devoted father, a fun-loving uncle, a caring brother. You were one of my best friends, my partner in business and in crime, my wingman. I'll miss that the most. I'll miss hanging out with you at the Mai Tai bar, picking up girls, just going out to eat. I look forward to doing that again someday, even if it's just in my mind or in my dreams. I thank you for everything that you've done for us. With your passing, in our branch of the family tree, there are no male heirs. And I had a sad realization a couple weeks ago that now I'm the oldest male descendant in our branch of the family tree. Eric was the man of our family, and I think he did a good job. He cared for all of us. He cared for everybody he came in contact with. And I think everybody knew that about him. You could tell that he was a genuine person, that he genuinely cared for people. And I think that's what makes it so hard when you lose somebody who's so nice and so good. It's a cruel, cruel world. And here we are left to pick up the pieces. I love you, Uncle Eric. I can't wait to see you again. I wish my cousins were here. As hard as it is on us, I can't even imagine how hard it is for Alyssa and Brianna being stuck all the way in Australia, on lockdown, unable to come here and say goodbye to their father, who loved them so much. Those two girls were his life. And all of you who know Eric, know that he always said, if anything happens to me, take care of my girls. Take care of my girls. After Eric passed, I was getting calls and messages from people I had never heard of, never met in my life. And one of the first things that they asked are the girls okay? Are Eric's girls okay? Eric always told me, if something happens, take care of my girls. He told everybody. Those girls were his first, second, third, and fourth priority. He loved them so much. Alyssa and Brianna, we love you. We wish you were here. I'm sorry that you can't be here with us to say goodbye to your dad. You're in our thoughts and in our prayers. And we can't wait to see you again.
The values of Hawaiian people are food, culture, dancing, happiness. We are self-reliant on this island. We love having visitors come and enjoy the amenities that it avails to all everyone, namely the beaches, the food, the park, the fresh air that hardly anyone has any access these days, in peace and clarity.
Aloha, Eric's family and friends. I just wanted to take this time just to share a few memories that I have of Eric. Eric and I started our career in aviation at the same time. We were in the same graduating class almost 32 years ago. And back then, Eric was one of 6 males that were in our class, of a class of about 40 flight attendants. So the boys really stood out. There was only 6 of them. We were young, bright-eyed, and full of excitement. We were the first class to be from Hawaii to be based in Hawaii. I always thought that Eric was a special person with his interesting ethnic background of being Russian and Filipino, and then to have the ability to speak Japanese made him even more unique. He was charismatic and had the most beautiful smile that would light up the room. His positive energy and fun-loving nature made him liked by everyone. The story that I just want to share that was quite recent, upon his passing, I posted on Facebook about my friend and coworker Eric and posted a picture of him, and then a friend commented, who she's not even in the airline industry, that she said, I remember him. And my girlfriend works at a bank, and she said he came into the bank and I helped him with some estate paperwork for his mom. And then a few days went by and came back, and he presented her with some silk scarves just to thank her for her assistance. And he was just such a kind, and his kindness and generosity touched so many people. He was such a sweet man with a good heart. And Eric, we love and miss you, and you will forever be in our thoughts and our hearts until we meet again.
This is one of the most difficult things I ever have to do. And it's try to put it in words, feelings, emotions, and just a lifetime full of memories to someone who's been a dedicated father and just an awesome, incredible son to his mom and dad, and just a great uncle to his nieces and nephews, and just a great person altogether. I known Eric for so many years. We've been together through a lot of things, good and bad, and somehow we always were able to overcome the difficulties and just get together and laugh, enjoy time together. Eric was, besides being a great comedian, keep you laughing and enjoying life, he would be a smart guy. Always remember names and dates and numbers. He was just good at that. But I don't want to take too much of this video, but just want to say that he is remembered by so many people. And I'm amazed by how many people are calling me and talking about him, and how sad it is that he had to pass. But we have good memories. We remember him and all things that he has done for his family. Just you can't ignore it. But personally, I miss Eric. I miss my body. Some that we just hang out, play basketball, get together, and just talk. And oh, I miss him. But I know that he is where he should be. He's with his mom and dad, his brothers, and sisters, and family that is on the other side. He doesn't have to be alone anymore. And God has taken him to another place, and now that we're left behind, we're left with the memories, good jokes, and the laughs, and every time I walk around pretty much every layover, every airport, there's always something that reminds me of it. And that would always stay with me. My classmates, crew members that know him, agents, and just people all over. You always remember him, his great personality and charisma. He had just a natural way to make you feel like you were his best friend. And he just had that within him. Just want to let everybody know that he is missed, his co-workers based in Honolulu, and all over where we've been, where we travel. Eric is been a great flight attendant and a great friend. And I know that he's listening to this right now. He remembers all of us. And we have to honor his memory by remembering the good times and the good stuff that we did. To his family, to his loved ones, to his kids, just know that we love him. Eric is a great person, and like I said, he made his own decisions. I didn't agree with some of them, but I respected him. He respected some of my decisions. He didn't agree, and but we just find a way to just get along, get together, and just go eat and just support each other and laugh because that's what life is all about. Just enjoying each other. And that's what I learned from him. May he rest in peace. May God receive him with open arms on the other side. And may the love of all of us reach him and stay with him. And I say this with all my heart. So, Eric, we love you. You take care.
Aloha, everyone. I just wanted to say to the Ohana and all Eric's loved ones that I'm sorry for your huge loss. My favorite memory of Eric was from years ago when we first started flying, and we had a New Zealand trip, and it was so rare, it was so senior, so I said, let's do something, you know, in case we never get back. And so I said, let's go bungee jumping. And the crew said, no, we're not going. And Eric said, I'll go with you. He said, I'm not going to do it, but I'll go and I'll be your cheerleader and take pictures. And so down to the bay we went, and they hooked me up and took me up, and it was like 150 feet over the bay. And the whole way down, Eric kept saying, I'm not doing it. And I said, okay, but thanks for coming, though. And so they bounded my ankles, took me up in the crane, and I bungee jumped. And when I got back, Eric, he says, I want to do it. And I was like, okay. And then but he had used up all my film. And so we ran to the store to get a disposable camera before he changed his mind. And we, walking back, we were just smiling and just had a big adrenaline rush going, and it was so fun. And when we met up with the crew that night for debriefing, they said, what happened? Why are you two acting like this? And we said, oh my God, we went bungee jumping and it was great. And we still talk about it. And I've flown with Eric a couple times before I retired, and he would share about his struggles with his mom, and he wouldn't grumble, just talk about like using music to help her come back a little bit from her dementia. It was really, really sweet. And I was also on the flight when Eric went with his ohana to Vegas for his brother's funeral, and even in his grief, he introduced me to some of his ohana. He had a big heart. And I had a birthday on a layover, and we usually don't get gifts, but Eric gifted me with a beautiful sweater. Eric was a lot of good. He had a big heart, he loved life. He had a lot of enthusiasm for life. He had a great smile. He was helpful and thoughtful, and he loved his family. And he was oh so handsome. I just would like to say to his ohana and loved ones that we really appreciate it, you know, the gift of knowing Eric, and thank you for sharing him with us. And if you need anything, please know all the aunties and everything will be there for you. Okay. Aloha. Aloha, Eric. Rest in love.
So I'm here today to talk to you about the life of my uncle, Eric Viray, born on August 4th, 1969, in Vietnam, during the war, I might add, and sadly passed away on August 20th, 2021. I don't think any of us thought that Eric would be the first of us to go. He was the youngest of 4 siblings. my mom Evangeline, my aunt Elizabeth, my dearly departed Uncle Ed, who passed in 2019, and then the youngest, Eric. Nobody ever thinks the youngest one is going to go. But, COVID doesn't discriminate. Doesn't care how old you are or how much people love you, it'll take you anyway. We've been living in this pandemic for more than a year and a half now, and I think we got kind of comfortable when we thought, yeah, people are dying, but it's not going to affect us. And I don't think anybody ever thinks it's going to affect them until somebody close to you gets infected. And once that happens, there's no turning back. Eric is more than just an uncle to me. He was a friend, a good friend, one of my best friends, a business partner, a drinking partner, my wingman. He started taking to calling us the dynamic duo, because whenever we'd go out, it was like child's play. I remember the last night we hung out. It was August 9th. Eric and I were drinking at Agave in Nuuanu Center. It's where we usually drank before we went upstairs to the Mai Tai bar. And as we went up to the Mai Tai bar, Eric and I are walking, and we see these two pretty ladies walking the other way. And as soon as I turn to try and talk to them, I see Eric. True to character, he's already backpedaling while talking to them. And long story short, they go back with us to the Mai Tai bar where they actually just came from. And Eric and I walk in with these two pretty ladies, and everybody stops and looks. And come to find out, these two ladies were actually exotic dancers from California. And we hung out and drank, and it was fun. But it kills me that I'm not going to be able to do that with him anymore. Just hanging out, and talking to girls, and having drinks. I'm still in a state of shock and disbelief that things can happen so fast, that you're here one day and gone the next. You shouldn't be gone. You should be here with us. But you're not. Eric was a very ambitious fellow. He had such grand plans for the future. He wanted to take on the world, and I was going to help him do it. Thanks for walking through the shot. He had such grand plans for the future. He wanted to make the world a better place. That's all he talked about night and day. We would go out 2-3 times a week, to eat and drink, and, we'd sit there at the restaurant and talk for hours about what our plans were and how he wanted to, how his vision for the future would play out. It's so sad to think that all those plans that we made and all those ideas that we had, We're all gone now. I don't even know what to say anymore. Eric, you were my friend, you were my uncle, and a mentor. And it's sad to think that we're never going to get to do the things that we plan to do. Everybody's in shock that you're gone. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I still can't believe it's real. I don't know if I'm awake or if I'm dreaming. This strange new alternate reality that we all live in. I miss you, Unky. The world is a lesser place without you. Now that you're gone, I can't even see what tomorrow brings, let alone what the future's gonna bring. Now that all the plans are gone, now that you're gone, it just makes me wonder if there's really any future worth striving for. I love you, Uncle Eric, and I know that you're with Mamang and Papang and Uncle Ed and all the others who have gone before us. And you can call me selfish, but I'd much rather have you here with us where you belong. You had so much life to live, so much ahead of you. And I'll do my best to carry on your legacy. But I still wish you were here with me.
To my sister Ate, there's a place inside the heart that only brothers and sisters know. It's filled with trust and loyalty, and over time it grows. And even when it happens that they find themselves apart, sisters and brothers never lose that special place inside their hearts. It's amazing how always you have given unselfishly, how you fill me up with inner strength whenever I'm in need. How you're there to help me out with any problem, big or small. There are things that you do for me and my girls when there's nothing at all. It's just so lovely that you're my sister, and let me be clear, I appreciate it and more with every passing year. Sorry, I'm being emotional. There's a comfort in having a sister like you. Nobody knows me the way you do. You just don't listen and you just don't listen and understand. You also patch with a helping hand. We are lucky that you are the person that you are. When we were young, we used to share our secrets, hopes and dreams. We could read each other's thoughts, or that's the way it seemed. Now that we have grown, some things have changed. That much is true. But you're still my dearest friend, my sister, and I love you. I just wish Chog, Pa, and Koyang, and Ma were here physically to celebrate your special day with you.
I love you too. Well, here we are, saying goodbye to my brother Eric. Unthinkable, unbearable. The loss of you and the void that you had left in our hearts is beyond immeasurable. Something I cannot and still have not quite accepted yet. But I want to thank you for being who you are and for doing all the things you did for us, for your family. I wish it could have been longer, could have been with us until our old age, but wherever you are, our hearts are with you. You will always be with us. I don't really have very much to say, other than I miss you and I love you forever, my brother, my friend, my confidant. I love you.
I don't know what to say. Uncle Eric, you were like a dad to me. It's really hard. I don't know. I just want to say I love you. I will miss you. That's it.
Unky, I don't really know what to say, but thank you for everything, and I really miss you. Well, we didn't get to do a lot of things that we were gonna do, like we were gonna go to Japan, and we were gonna see New York, and well, we never got to do that, and I wish I got the time to do that with you before you went to heaven, and I just really miss you, and I wish you were here right now. We could be celebrating my birthday tomorrow, and yeah, that's all I really have to say.
If I should leave you whom I love, to go along the silent way, grieve not, nor speak of me with tears, but laugh and talk of me as if I were beside you there. I'd come could I but find a way. But would not tears and grief be barriers? And when you hear a song or see a bird I loved, please do not let the thought of me be sad, for I am loving you as I always have. You were so good to me. There were so many things I wanted still, to do so many things, to say to you. Remember that I did not fear. It was just leaving you that was hard to face. We cannot see beyond, but this I know. I loved you so. 'Twas heaven here with you. Forever yours, Tom. Dated July 14th, 1994. I love you, Mama. I love you, Papa. Uncle Ed and Uncle Eric. I love you all. I can't wait to see you again.
Hi, this is Rudy Kajari from Singapore. On behalf of the entire Augustus KC team, we would like to send our deepest condolences to the family of Eric Viray. Eric has been more than just a friend and a colleague. He's also been a brother to us, and his loss is going to be felt by all of us for many, many years to come. But we know he's in a better place, and we take comfort in that. On behalf of everyone here in Singapore, including Matthew, Sheikh, Renee, Daryl, and Ashley, we'd like to say goodbye to you, Eric. But we know we'll be seeing you one day soon. Take care, my friend.
Having the chance of meeting and getting to know Eric Viray was a privilege of my lifetime. When I first met Eric some 13 years ago, I had no idea how much of a close friend he would become and how much of a positive impact he would have on my life. Eric was one of those people that you rarely meet in life. Larger than life, perpetually positive and optimistic, always happy and always in a good mood. Hard to anger and always smiling. From the first time I met him, I was mesmerized by his ability to light up the room with his charm and charisma and his strong and calm demeanor. He had an infinite number of stories to tell. There was never a dull moment when you were with Eric. He was a sensitive man as well, with a heart of gold. He never wished ill on anyone or held grudges. Eric was passionate about life and about his family, especially his two daughters, Alyssa and Brianna, whom he was so proud of. Eric lived life to the fullest, enjoying every moment and shining his light on everyone that he touched. Losing Eric so young has left a void in our lives that only the memories that he's left us with can help subside. Our lives are forever happier and changed for the better for having been a part of Eric's life. Eric Kibanov Viray will always love you, will always miss you, and we'll see you soon one day.
This is Dr. Sue. I know Eric almost exactly 6 years ago, so working on a Helios project. Eric is such a one-of-a-kind human being. I've never met someone like him before in my life, and he has such a profound curiosity on science and engineering. And we were supposed to working on some of the coolest projects to help humanity change the way all human beings live in terms of energy, communication, and transportation. I really feel extremely sad that Eric just walked away from us like this. I'm still in a state of shock, and I could not believe what has happened to him. And I was one of the guys that in the last few days of his life, and we were communicating very closely. And, we had dinner together when me and my daughter arrived at Honolulu, Hawaii. He and Michael came to the airport to pick us up. And when we left Hawaii on the 10th of August, and he drove us to the airport. So there's no word to express my sorrow and sadness about what happened to Eric. And he will, of course, always live in our heart, and we will never, ever forget him. And what I can say is I am determined to work with the AC team of Singapore to achieve all the goals we set out to do. And so please rest in peace. We love you.
It's a long, long road from which there is no return. While we're on the way to there, why not share?
Aloha. I hope you folks enjoyed the Eric Viray Memorial video. I'd like to thank everybody for participating, everybody who joined the Eric Viray Memorial Facebook group and posted memories and thoughts and pictures. I really appreciate it, especially everybody who contributed to the Eric Viray Memorial Fund. On behalf of my family, on behalf of my Uncle Eric and the Viray family, I'd like to send you our deepest gratitude and thank you for supporting our family in our time of need. There's a few people that I wanted to thank personally. Some very old family friends and people who contributed. The folks at United, Mario Pasolden, one of Eric's oldest friends, thank you very much for supporting us and your contribution. Dana Hughes, Tamara Witter, Mia Diaz, Mary Thompson, Sharon McArcher, Felix Rivera, and everybody else over at United. I wanted to thank you for all your thoughts and prayers and contributing to my uncle's memory. You have the gratitude of our family, and we'd like to thank everybody for participating. A few other people I'd like to thank are Eric's friends and colleagues and business partners in Singapore, the entire Augustus Casey team, the Scram Labs team, Rudy, Sheikh, Kevin, Matthew, Dr. Sue, Dr. Shu, Renee, Ashley, and everybody else out in Singapore and out in Houston. Thank you very much for supporting us through this. I'd also like to send a big thank you to some of my family members who helped us out here. My Auntie Tanya in California, thank you for your contributions. My Uncle Mike, and my cousins, Eric's daughters in Australia who couldn't be here. My cousins Alyssa and Brianna, we love you very much. We wish you could be here to honor your dad, but we know once we move past this, we'll be able to see each other again. I want to thank you for being strong, and I just want to say a big thank you again to everybody who participated, contributed, and offered their thoughts, prayers, and support to our family through this terrible time. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. And thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. You have our eternal appreciation. If you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, please get vaccinated. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for those who you love. Because as we just witnessed, you can be here one day and gone the next. So please, do the right thing and get vaccinated, because vaccines save lives. Aloha and mahalo to everybody, and God bless.